Right, afternoon. Well, good evening. Just bear with me for a minute or two. I'm just sharing out the stream to Facebook and Reddit and Skype, not Skype, Twitter. It's going to take a few minutes to do. So I've got to keep logging in with different passwords all the time. All right, now Twitter. Need my phone. Well, that one didn't need me to log in because I'm already logged in, I think, on that one. Haunted Experience 3. And yeah, I think that's it. The other one. What's the other one I sometimes use? Timber. That don't seem to work. And I don't think I'm in site. Oh, actually, I posted Timber. But it's not letting me log in. Right. Timber, let it go there. All right. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Ian. So I thought I'd do a little coffee time break, a video stream like I used to do. The old beard's getting there again. Gonna have to shave that off soon. What that was in there, February. Could let it go all year and, do a Father Christmas thing at Christmas time, which I did plan to do last year, but I didn't. Because of certain things veered. And yeah, I had to shave the beard, well, cut it down short anyway, because of certain things that actually happened in my personal life. So camera's working today, thankfully. Last time I did a live stream, it fucking all screwed up. How they? Well, they're still noisy as hell. Yesterday it was like constant all through the day. Friday night he was hammering upstairs, like, what he was hammering on the floor, I do not know. Maybe he's pulling the floorboards up. Maybe he's putting some kind of like spy equipment down to record my voice. Or I actually looked up at the up at there. I don't know if you see that up there. And let's go onto the other screen. I've got like a vent thing up there. So I thought, hey, maybe he's put a hidden camera, trying to, like, spy on me with a hidden camera. So I jumped up there with my mobile phone and, I had the flashlight on. I couldn't see nothing down there. So I'm thinking, well, you never know with, people like this. I've been thinking of, like, trying to find ways of spying on them. Well, I do sometimes with me phone, I always do audio recording when they're making hell of a noise as, like, evidence. Some people might turn around and say, well, hang on a minute, you're breaking the law by, recording without having some kind of, like, permission either through them or, some other means. But, if they're causing your life to be hell, then I've got every right to record the noise that they're making. So if I need to take it at court, which I'm planning or think about doing later, then, like, I will need evidence. I don't know what he does with them kids upstairs, but, I can hear them kids crying every single day. I'm not saying he's abusing them or they're abusing them, but while I crying every day, I've got no idea. I know kids will play and fight and fall over and hurt themselves, but every single day I'm in kitchen crying. Every day I'm in them running, jumping, banging, screaming, shouting. Every single day. And I say Friday night, he was like hammering around for like 4.5 hours constantly. I was getting so fed up. I was just back going to pick up the phone and something stopped. I was actually going to ring up my old bill because I'm actually like talking to myself now. I don't know why, but I'm talking to myself. I think have kind of like sent me stir crazy one way because I'm saying that, yeah, you keep on, I'm going to call the police, I'm going to have them come around and have you arrested, and oh, maybe I should do this, and maybe I should. Even today, I was out in the kitchen, talking to myself and thinking what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing, how to deal with it. That just sounded me fucking insane, actually. But I don't really want to talk about them anyway. Stream's going to be about about the paranormal, if I can think about it. Hello, Teresa. So I put the title, "Is Ghost Hunting Safe or Dangerous?" Well, I think it can be both in one way. Safety wise, if you're with a group and you believe in the higher power and you're protecting yourself, you take in the necessary equipment out, like blessed water, Holy Bible, blessed salt. Maybe someone who's even more religious than you are, like a priest or vicar or someone like that who's interested in ghost hunting. If you've got all that, then I think you're kind of safe because, being with a group, if you get kind of like attacked or possessed, someone with the same experience to you can actually pull you out of it or try to pull you out of it and fight the negative energies that may be residing in the place you go to. But there are the dangers as well. You shouldn't really go out do ghost hunting on your own because if anything happens, you've got no one to fucking help you out, have you really? If you take the essentials, holy water, blessed salt, and a Bible with you. If anything happens and you've got no one with you, it ain't going to help you. You could get possessed. You could be attacked. You could be injured. I'm not saying a spirit can actually kill you because there's no proof that a spirit can actually kill a living person. But possession of a living person, yes. And if you get possessed, can that possession in one way make you take your own life? I don't know. To be honest with you, because I've not really looked into that, but I don't think a ghost can actually come up to you and stick an invisible sword in you, or drown you to death or anything like that. I don't think that can really. I've not really seen or heard of many videos or conversations either online or on chat or anything like that where someone has actually been murdered by a ghost. I know you can be attacked by a spirit because I've been attacked quite a few times. As you know, I've had scratches. I've had kind of partial possessions, which I just watched one earlier, actually, one of my old videos where I kind of was sitting on the bed and I just went flying backwards. And I was on the bed, not actually unconscious, but it felt like I was unconscious, but I wasn't. But I was flat out on the bed for about half an hour or so. Then there's that time when I got possessed, I believe, for a good few hours. It's only because of who is it now? Trying to think of his bloody name now. Lindsay saw some stuff that I wrote on my Google page before Google took down, the web pages that we would have to write stories or upload pictures and stuff like that with. It's only because Lindsay saw that and he tried to contact me and funny enough, I had my webpage, well, I had my stream going at the moment at the time. No, actually, I can't remember, to be honest with you. I think he contacted me through Hangouts, and I'm sitting here, completely out of it, and something made me touch my mouse to actually answer the call. And Lindsay was like asking what the fuck was going on, and you can see me like with a light underneath my hand, and trying to catch my hand on fire, and weird shit like that. So I feel like being possessed, weird things can happen to you, which has happened to me. But although I was here on my own, it's because not just Lindsay, but other people came onto the side chat and started praying. I think a prayer towards the person who may be possessed will help them to escape that possession, I suppose. Well, it took like 2.5 hours, 3 hours for me to get out of it, yeah, because Lindsay brought in about half dozen people, and they all started like praying like online. It wasn't being recorded because it wasn't a live stream. It's just like in one way, a group chat, which Lindsay was able to bring people into the chat, and they all started praying for me, and I suppose that was what helped me to get out of that kind of possession. And you could see orbs flying around at the time. I was like trying to catch my hand on fire, which at the end, when I came out of it, Lindsay was saying, you had a flame underneath your hand, check your hand is okay. And I looked at it and there weren't no burn marks, there weren't no blackness, there weren't no blisters or anything. And I had that live underneath my hand for, a good couple of minutes, kind of thing. So, it's dangerous. It's definitely dangerous, but because I suppose I was maybe possessed, I wasn't feeling that pain, or maybe something was guiding me from that pain and stopping that pain from actually happening. So maybe there was a good spirit that's possessed me, and another spirit was trying to reflect that flame from my hand. I just don't know. So there are good points about the paranormal, and there's like negative kind of points towards the paranormal as well. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, then you shouldn't be doing anything to do, the paranormal. I know people might watch a ghostly episode of I'm just going to pull out a couple of channels like Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Most Haunted, that kind of shit, yeah. Some people might start watching that and get interested in thinking well, does ghosts really exist? How do I contact a ghost? Would a ghost talk to me? So, people seem to get that interest and then start, dabbling. And if they don't know what they're doing, then I suppose in one way they could either get a positive spirit who will talk to them and not cause them no harm, or they might get a negative spirit that might come through and cause them all bloody hell, kind of thing. They could scratch them, they could push them, they could possibly possess them. But I think possession is very, very rare. Although I've had those mini possessions, they are rare. If you think about it, I've been doing this 9 years. Going back on my videos, it's 10 years, but I'm going to cut out about 1.5 years, 2 years. So I really didn't do much because of all the shit that was going on social media. And I don't think that over the last 2 or 3 years I've really got anything paranormal, because I just come away from it. I didn't put my heart and soul into it like I originally had done in the past. I think if you're actually manifesting your energy, maybe your love and compassion into the paranormal, you will get stuff. I've always said well, even my spirit guides said you need to show the fear. If you show fear, then you're going to get some form of activity. But for me, it was hard to show fear. unless like, you know, something was happening here at that time, then like, you know, I might start getting a bit scared, and then like that fear, because that scaredness would probably manifest, you know, more activity. Um, if you think about the amount of stuff I have had in my home, you know, in the past, it is like kind of crazy stuff I didn't even realise I'd ever get on video. And you know, the thing being is that I will talk about videos in a minute, you know, being mine or whoever's, you know, kind of thing, and how people kind of like get that, well, not the knowledge, but you know, that I suppose like views or acknowledgement on social media. You know, if you think about it, you know, I've had some really weird shit happen, you know, a lot of weird shit. Not just here, but you know, at Pete's house, you know, we've had paranormal activity, we had poltergeist stuff happening there. I've had poltergeist stuff happening here as well. I've had shadow figures. I've had like that black apparition that showed up in the living room that time when we was doing the live stream talking. I don't know if it was like Simon Bland or Elizabeth or what was it called? The Chinese girl, Alicia Lamb, one of those ones we was talking about. And if you remember, my camera went offline and came back, and I showed you that black figure kind of like appeared for a few seconds and disappeared. You know, that was slowed down quite a few times, and you could see something appearing in the living room and then disappearing. And it did look like a figure, all in black, and you could see it strolling, you know, because we'd done it as a slow down, frame by frame, if you remember that time. So, you know, things have happened here. I'm not saying that, you know, even that was like something dark, because like, if it's a dark, demonic kind of spirit, it could have came from that living room and fucking came through and attacked me, but it didn't. I think it's either something that we've opened up like a portal, and like the spirit just kind of like came through for that few seconds and disappeared. It could have been one of the people we've been talking about on the older mystery murders and unsolved case things that me and Rose done. You know, it could have been, it might not have been, you know, who says? I don't know. Do I follow the Ghost Trail channel? No, I've not even seen it. I've not even heard of it, actually, Bombshell. So, you know, I say that I've had some funny stuff happen to me, you know, in the past as well. You know, like, you know, I've woken up, felt like someone kissed me. I've had that sensation when I've been to bed, and it feels like, you know, someone's sitting at the bottom of the bed, and you can feel the bed go down. That happened, you know, for months. That did. It felt like if someone was just like, you know, visiting me and like, you know, protecting me, I suppose. One time, you know, a kiss on the cheek was like kind of, well, what the fuck was that? You know, was it one of my relatives that's passed and, you know, passed away? You know, female? Was it a spirit that I helped? You know, when we did the Ouija boards, and you know, I believe I might have crossed them over. Did she come down to say thank you? Was it one of my spirit guides? You know, I don't know. I've even had weird EVPs coming through, you know, full conversations of like a man and a woman. Somewhat, like it sounded like a male trying to talk to me, and then the female saying, leave him alone, let him sleep. But it might have been vice versa. It might have been a female trying to talk to me and a male saying, you know, leave him alone, let him sleep. I can't remember, but I know I had something like that. I think a lot of my headaches have been down to like, you know, the paranormal as well, you know, where they probably like kind of draining me out, you know, drain my energy. That could be partly because I noticed that every time I tried to do a stream, I always started getting headaches when I was doing anything to do with paranormal. But I know with the stress from, you know, noisy fucking neighbours, I still get headaches and I'm not doing paranormal. So, you know, it could have been a mixture of things with me headaches. So I'm not saying it's all down to paranormal, you know, the feelings that you get, you know, through your body, like, you know, breathing, headaches, you know, like pains in your chest and stuff like that. You know, that could all be down to like, you know, just normal stress from, you know, whatever through life, you know, through real life kind of thing, through the neighbours, you know, from so-called friends and, you know, relatives and all that kind of stuff. I did have a lot of stress from the night. I do get a lot of stress from the neighbours, and they do give me headaches. But if you're going, you know, if I'm talking about the paranormal, yeah, I've had headaches, you know, constantly. When every time I do a stream, or when we've had like people being on it, being arseholes and, you know, causing drama, that's caused me headaches, caused me like, you know, certain medical problems as well. Um, but you know, with the paranormal, it can be kind of difficult to get into as well, I suppose. You know, because you do, you know, you need money. It's like with any hobby, you need money to buy the equipment, and equipment isn't cheap. You know, a ghost box nowadays is like 200 quid. A K2 meter, you know, you're talking about 50 quid now. An EDI, you know, the last time I checked on eBay for an EDI was a second-hand one, and that was like 350 quid. So you can buy an EDI brand new for like 300 quid, but I don't know if you can still buy them because I think the company shut down in America, and I think they stopped doing them. So they are going to get kind of hard to find, the EDIs. And if you don't know what the EDI is, I can show you one quickly somewhere. I don't have to start anything out, which I'm going to have to do, which I don't want to do. Oh, my. Out of the way. There it is. That's the EDI. It's got temperature, geo pumping it, you know, picks up like, you know, vibrations, audio recorder, I think it's got in there as well. Yeah, some form like it. It's got several things in there, and you don't get them cheap nowadays. They are kind of expensive. So like on eBay, last one I saw was like 350 quid, and that's second hand. You know, you're gonna need other equipment, you know, like an audio recorder. You can like get little cameras like these, and you hack into full spectrum, which I have got a couple of these, which I have hacked myself. You know, cameras, digital cameras, night vision cameras, IR lights. You know, you need a shitload of stuff to do paranormal, and it isn't cheap. You know, any hobby that you start is not cheap. Even metal detecting, you know, it's not cheap to buy a decent metal detector. You're talking about 300, 400 quid, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, I started buying metal detectors at cheap prices, you know, 100, 150 quid. But then I bought myself a Simplex Plus, and that was like 350 quid. So, and, you know, I've tried to mix the hobbies together in one way, go out metal detecting and see anything I find may have some kind of like spiritual energy attached to it, but I've not had any kind of luck with that at the moment. I'm not saying that, you know, I could go and find a gold coin and it could have been, you know, belonged to a highwayman who lost it and he's pissed off when he's trying to find it, and no, I found it. You know, he wants it back, kind of thing, and he's going like, you know, haunt you. You know, I'm not saying it's possible, but you never know. But there are things like, you know, like the K2 meters, I say, like 50 quid each nowadays. You know, I think I was one of the first ones to put sound in it. You know, going back on some of my videos, you know, no one else had sound in it until like they started copying my idea, which I didn't really care about, you know. And, you know, even some of the big ghost hunting groups, you know, online shops now actually put sound in their K2 meters and knock the prices up, near double, which I think is wrong, because all you got to do is put like a little buzzer in between two connectors in the K2 meter, and then you got sound. I've done it so I can turn the sound on and off as well on a couple of my K2 meters. If you want to try to, capture something, like an apparition, you need a decent camera, I suppose, with night vision. Or you could use like the old Xbox 360s. But the Xbox 360s, especially the Xbox 360 itself, the original one, they can be temperamental. They can actually pick up things that isn't paranormal. It can even pick up a reflection of yourself on a mirror, would you believe? And that I have actually found out and debunked myself. But on the Xbox 2, the more square, fatter one, I tried doing that with a mirror and it didn't pick up my reflection in the mirror, but it has picked up stuff on that particular Xbox. I've still got them connected to the computer, if I want to use them, but I don't really bother using them anymore. I don't even have them plugged in the socket down on the floor, because my electric bill is going up as well this year, would you believe? I suppose everyone's going up electric bills. So I tend to not to use a lot of paranormal stuff now. As you know, I've not even done anything paranormal really for, over a year. The only thing I have done is like when I went to my bushcraft camp about a year ago, and I took some equipment with me and I'd done like an overnight kind of thing there for a couple of hours. Didn't really get much. I've got some stuff coming through the ghost box, which I did listen to a little bit earlier ago, because I was actually going through this channel, seeing what kind of stuff that I might be able to like do a live stream and play back some of the old stuff again, maybe, but I don't know if I want to do that or not. But also with the paranormal, the good thing about paranormal, you can meet people. I've met I've not met some people, which I would have probably liked to have met, but I would never want to meet him now. But I've met Simon James, great guy. He's been down here a couple of times. We've been out doing paranormal stuff with each other, and we've got some crazy stuff on camera and audio. I've had like my nephews. We've done stuff with my nephews. Got some crazy stuff on those as well. Steve Cooper, the one who makes the Coop box, I've met him, and his ex-wife, who's no longer on the planet. She's deceased, but I've got some ghost boxes from him. Who was the other one? There is a couple of other people I've met, but I can't remember the names. I've never met Rose in real life, but I would like to meet her at some stage, I suppose, before I die, or even if I do die, I'll go and fucking haunt her ass anyway. There are other people who I would like to meet, but I don't think it's going to be possible now anyway, to be honest with you. Not unless I start getting back into the paranormal and like put my heart and soul back into it. Maybe it might happen, but I don't know. There is going to be a time, I'm not saying when, but I am going to be sorting out some of my gear, especially cameras, camcorders, and get them charged up, because my daughter knows someone who runs a school, and the school is haunted. Certain phones keep ringing for no reason at all. So I have been invited to this school, and my daughter keeps asking me when I'm going to go there. I said, I don't know. I've got to find my cameras. I've got to find the batteries, see if the batteries are chargeable. If not, I've got to like fork out money for the batteries, which I can't very well afford to do at the moment. So you just have to wait until I've got the equipment sorted out, because I would like to take about maybe 3 or 4 cameras there and have them knocked off in certain parts of the building. Have a couple of K2 meters, Probably take both my EDIs, maybe a trigger object like a doll or something, being as it is a children's school. So, I'll probably take a doll or two with me. Audio recorders. I would like to take a DVR, but there's no way of me carrying a DVR with me, DVR system with cameras and a monitor. It wouldn't be possible. That's why I say, take about 3 or 4 cameras with me and have them running constantly. But I would need about 3 or 4 batteries for each camera. That's the only thing. But yeah, I have been invited to a school. Another one I wanted to do, and I don't know if it's still possible to do it, but my daughter was saying about a theatre, an old theatre, which her friends have access to, and they've had some really weird shit happening next theatre. And I would like to do that, but again, really, to be honest with you, you need people who knows the paranormal. With the school, there's no one who knows about the paranormal. They watch the videos and TV programs, stuff like that. But there's no one who can actually help me if I get some form of possession or attack or attachment or something like that, kind of thing. So, but they are, they actually do want to be there when I do possibly an overnight investigation, so they can see what kind of activity occurs, if I can pick up of any names that may be there. So and I think there's about 5 or 6 people who wants to be there, including my daughter. So and my daughter, she's seen stuff in the past. She hears stuff at the school. So I think she's kind of sensitive to the paranormal, because she's always watched my channels anyway, and other channels. She's sent me videos of the school where the woman who's getting freaked out with the phone, it's just ringing and there shouldn't be no one there, because it's been rang from one building to another building, and she's gone to where the building is where the phone is actually being picked up and dialed, and there's no one there, and she's getting freaked out. So I will hopefully get to do that within the next month or two. When I can't really say. I just got to get my equipment sorted out, and I've got to prepare myself as well. I'm going to have to go and get some water blessed by the church. Get some blessed salt as well, and a few other bits and pieces. I've got to find my crucifixes. I'm not going to do a Ouija board there. I might take one, but unless they say, we're okay with that, then I might do, but I don't think I will, because I don't want whatever activity is there, kind of getting kind of any worse than it is at the moment. But at the moment, it's more like noises and phones ringing at the school at the moment. I think they've seen shadow movements, shadow figures as well. So, if there is some form of activity going on there, I don't want to be stirring it up by using a Ouija board. I'll take some candles, Pacific candles as well, which helps to conjure up, spiritual energy, apparently. I'll take some EM pumps with me as well to generate that EMF, magnetic energy field, for them to use that energy. But as I say, I've got to dig out this stuff I want to take with me and sort it out and get the cameras all charged up, get extra batteries all charged up. If I ain't got extra batteries, I've got to buy them, and it's all cost, kind of thing. And I can't even tell you where the school is. I don't even know where the school is at the moment. My daughter could tell me where it is, but I said, no, don't tell me where it is, because now my luck, I'll probably go and say where it is, and people are going to start contacting the school and say, oh, we've heard your school's haunted, can we come and do an investigation? Well, I don't think they would actually allow it to be done. It's only because my daughter has spoken to them about it, and they kind of seem interested for me to go there. But I say, if I'm the only person who's going with the paranormal experience and something happens to me, they're going to be well screwed over, aren't they? Really, they ain't going to know what to do. I will probably say to them, like, if anything happens, read these verses, from the Bible, and I'll probably take the Bible with me as well. And if I feel like, there's something dark and demonic and, something's going to go, ape shit over there, then I'll probably have to start reading verses myself, actually, try to calm it down a little bit. And if they want me to kind of like try to remove whatever's there at the end of the session, I might have to try to do it there and then, or go back and do it another time, kind of thing. So, I don't really want them to kind of get too involved in, kind of thing. I might ask them to carry a camcorder around, and take videos of me as well. There's them panning around, so I came pan the camera over there because I thought I'd just seen something or heard something, and get them to use some of the equipment. I might even get them to kind of if they want to interact with the spirits as well, ask them who's there, why they're there, try to get some names and try to get it recorded on EVP or on camcorder, whatever. Try to get them to ring the phone. Before we do that, I'll put a camera in the room where they actually are using the phone to dial through to the other part of the office. So I'll have 2 cameras hopefully set up and have it recording. So, if they want to participate in it, then they can. If they don't, they just want to kind of chill out and watch, then that's okay as well. But I would like to take someone with me who knows about the paranormal, but Simon James don't do it anymore, and he's way, way, way fucking far from me. He's hundreds of miles away, and to get down, he's going to cost him 300 quid, kind of thing. My nephews don't do it anymore, so it's not worth asking them to do it. I know I did ask my nephew Warren to take me back up to George's Wood one day if I go down, and he said he'd do it if he's not working. So, he would go up there with me. Maybe my other nephew Simon, but Aaron, he won't do it anymore. Because he's had 2 near-death experiences himself, and he just don't want to do the paranormal anymore. So I know he won't come up and do it. So equipment-wise, it can be costly in, doing the paranormal. I've spent out probably thousands on, paranormal equipment in the past. And I think with the paranormal, sometimes, you could be using equipment which a spirit might like to use for a short amount of time and suddenly get bored of it, kind of thing. It's like with ghost boxes, I used to get a load of stuff with ghost boxes, but suddenly it's kind of gone really quiet, kind of dead, and I'm thinking, well, what else can I use? EVP recorders, will they communicate through an EVP recorder? Will they communicate through another piece of equipment like K2 meter? Well, K2 meters, a lot of people are saying any kind of fluctuation of EMF could set them off, which is possibly, correct. So you really need something which isn't easily manipulated, I suppose. If you're using an EDI, then, or some other form of EMF meter, then, you might get some kind of activity on those ones. I wouldn't trust the K2 meter now, to be honest with you. Although when you do get hits and, you're asking the spirit to, make that flash, on a direct response and it happens, then, maybe it is a spirit, we don't know. But, when it's randomly going off, then, you can't prove it is a spirit, really. Hello, Angela. You're late. Always bleeding late you are. So, well, it is a woman's privilege, I suppose, being late. Well, it takes so ever for, getting ready in the bathroom. I'll be 5 minutes, darling. Yeah, 2 hours later. Honey, we're going to be late. Yeah, 5 more minutes. I'm just putting on the last bit of mascara. Yeah, 20 minutes later. But I say, there is, the good in the paranormal. Once you start getting activity, you're thinking, great, you might be communicating with something. No, but the thing is, how do we know we are talking to real spirits? That's the only other thing. Unless you like going completely blind and you start getting things coming through like on a ghost box or an EVP recorder, and no one's told you about, anything about that particular location, and you go back to them and say, well, like, I've got these names. Oh, weird, like, did you know we had someone by that name died in here like 5 years ago, so like that could be kind of like not coincidental, but I suppose proof that that person may be residing in the building. But the thing is, when you do get activity, it doesn't mean it's real activity. I'm trying to learn more about this now. I think if I was going to do more, in the paranormal, I'd probably want to try to like debunk stuff. If you see a shadow, you've got to try to debunk that shadow, what the shadow was. I know it's still going to be a bit scary, and you might run away like a headless chicken, screaming, kind of thing, which I do see on YouTube. I still watch paranormal channels on YouTube sometimes, and you see like someone running down the road because they see like a shadow. It doesn't mean like it's paranormal, but when you do see something and you got that fear, trapped in your brain, and you're thinking, well, if I see anything, I'm going to be scared. Well, you shouldn't really have that kind of like trapped in your brain. You should go in as like, have your brain cleared. You go in like, empty in one way. And if something happens, then, don't go screaming your ass off, kind of thing. You need to like stand there and like see if it happens again, or, trying to resolve it by like trying to debunk it or something like that. And that's one thing about doing something like that. But thing is, I need to be with a group, and I don't have a group to go with anymore. So what I'm going to probably be doing later in the year, I'll probably do some more like, little streams down at my bushcraft. I'm not saying it's haunted over there, but I do feel that there's some form of energy over there. Going back on, cut my bushcraft paranormal channel videos, and like, I've seen and heard a few weird things on the old ghost box. I can clearly hear it when I say if there's any spirits here, good or bad, can you let me know? And on the ghost box, you're saying, I can hear like spirits coming through the ghost box. So, like, but even with a ghost box, you can't really prove it's a spirit that's trying to communicate with you. It might be just a odd radio frequency, 1 out of a million that might even have that word spirit. When, they could be talking about spirits, what comes through the ghost box, and when you hear spirit, after you've asked if there's any spirits there, it could be something unnatural, could be a spirit, or could just be a random radio station that's 1 in a million chances came through and said spirit at that same particular time. You just don't really know. And if you're getting like names, you say like, you ask a spirit box, what is your name? You get like, Peter Downs or something like that. And you go back to the person and say, well, I've got a name, Peter Downs, and they can, turn around and say, yeah, Peter Downs used to work here and he died here, and they can prove that that person actually did work and die there. Then, you've got your kind of evidence in one way, I suppose. I think with like spirits, when you're communicating, why do they want to communicate with you anyway? Is it because they want you to know that they are still around? They could be trapped, they want to be moved on, or they got the last final few words they need to pass on to someone. That's a possibility. But why do we get these negative ones? Is it because, like, they used to live there and they don't want no one being there? They're pissed off with the people being there because they've like renovated, or they're just too noisy, or they don't like, them being there, and they start, giving you all this nasty activity. Could be that. Some people say, like, spirits we're talking to ain't even spirits, could just be some form of invisible alien. There could be billions of invisible aliens walking amongst us and living with us and, like, communicating with us. We just don't know. Can you imagine a cloaked alien sitting next to me, probably like nodding, saying, yeah, no, ain't no ghost, it's just us aliens, fucking with you. Can you imagine that? But there are also, like, other kind of equipment you can use, like laser lights, which Simon James done, where they can actually break that beam of light. That's good. I don't actually want to go and get it, but those, like, little robot things, sensor robots, what Rose had sent down to me. I actually had one, but she also sent me one down. Those little robots. Don't know where to make control of for them anyway, so I won't be able to use those. I could probably charge them up, but I won't be able to really use them. Motion detectors. There's so many things you could probably try. You got, like, your temperature gauges as well. If the temperature drops, that's supposed to be the means of, like, of a spirit trying to manifest near you, and it's dropping the temperature. So much I could probably talk about. I just don't want to talk about it too much now. I'm getting a bit tired. Well, if you're not getting no notification, just, like, unsubscribe me, then resubscribe me, then hit that notification bell. That might work. I turned off my notifications anyway on a lot of channels, because when I'm trying to watch something while I was playing a game, like, one of my games that I play, I had, like, Chrome still turned on, but if a notification came through, it'd pop up on my game and people could see, like, who the notification was. So I had to, like, dig into, like, the settings and turn all the notifications off. And now I've done it, I don't get any kind of, like, notifications popping up when I'm doing my online gaming. Like, I just uploaded a game earlier, actually, on our channel, like Call of Duty 2. It's like a World War II game. Just uploaded part 2 on that one. I did Green Hell the other day as well, upload another episode of that. That's all I've been really doing, is, doing gaming, really. I know someone said, like, would you do, like, these horror games? Not really, because, like, I think they're a bit shitty, to be honest. Like Phasmophobia, that looked like a good game, but no one would really want to play with me, on that game. So, it's wasted me paying for it and downloading it, kind of thing. I know there probably are some cheap free ones out there, but unless you've got a group of people to play with, it's just ain't worth downloading them. So I don't play those games anymore. I just play, like, the old war game time to time, and survival kind of games. That's all I play. Some people said to me, like, try Scum. The game called Scum, which is a post-political. I can't even pronounce it now. Post-political kind of, like, zombie game. Well, I did download it. I started to play it, but my computer wasn't, good enough to play it at that time. But when I got this one, I could probably download it and play it, but I just didn't want to. It's not my kind of game, to be honest. Zombies. No, I used to play. Used to like playing zombie games, but I don't play those anymore. Green Hill is like, you're kind of like surviving in the jungle, and you've got, like, native tribes chasing your ass and, like, attacking you. or you can turn off the natives and some of the predators, like you got like cougars, you got leopards, you got crocodiles, and all three of them can attack you and like nearly enough kill you. I turn those off. All I've got is like, you know, the little predators, like, you know, the spiders and the ants and what else is there? Snakes. I turned off stingrays and like piranha when you're crossing a river or lake or stream. But you still get like leeches. So I've got like 3 different seasons. 2 of them I don't have like, you know, the natives on. One of them I've got, you know, the predators all turned off. You know, I've just got like the main couple of bits and pieces turned on. The second one I've got, you know, the predators turned on, and the third one I've got everything turned on. So I'm doing those at the moment. But I thought tonight, you know, I've had a quick game on Call of Duty 2. You know, let's do a quick live stream. I was going to go out to my bushcraft over the last couple of days, but I've not done that. So I've been trying to catch up with some of the sleep because like them bee leaders up there start the noise from 7 o'clock in the morning until like 8 o'clock at night, and it's just wearing me out. Been wearing like these little earplug things, you know, and they don't seem to want to work properly. And I can still hear them jumping and banging around with earplugs in. Hello, Dave. Long time no see. I'm actually going to close this down in a minute, actually, funny enough. Right. I've got a couple of appointments this week. I've got one tomorrow, actually. Doctor's appointment. So I need to get some early sleep tonight. Yeah, I've got some, like, you know, as you know, I've got some medical problems at the moment. Due to all the stress and anxiety that is being caused by those bastards upstairs. You know, the doctors told me, you know, due to the stress and anxiety, I need to talk to a couple of like organisations. One called Uplift for mental health issues. I spoke to a lady on the phone the other day. Actually, she told me to ring up a company called Mind that also helps with like stress and anxiety and depression. Trying to find that other letter, which I need to find. So I need to find that one. There's one specific letter I've got to find. There's one here, research company on medical, which I might go to. Where's that other bloody letter? You know, I had an X-ray on my knees the other day, well, about a week or so ago, and I've got like this. Can't even read it. My eyes are getting really bad as well. I can't actually pronounce it, but it's retropatellar. That's retropatellar. Osteophytic, or if it's osteophytic. It kind of like is some kind of like bone or spur or something that goes on your knee, and that's what's causing me to have pain in my knees. And yeah, I might have to have an operation on the kneecap sometime. I can't find that other bloody letter anymore. Take those down, push those offline now. I don't know where it is, but I did have a letter somewhere which I've got to find. It's to do with me going to have a brain scan because of my headaches, and I'm waiting for them to. They sent me a letter saying that they've been, I've been referred to them, but I'm waiting for them to actually send a letter for an appointment. For me actually to go and get a brain scan, find out why I keep getting all these headaches. No, I said I can't say it's anything to do with paranormal. So I ain't done it for quite a while, and I know sometimes you're doing paranormal. When I've done it, I kind of like get stressed out. And, your stress can cause you to get headaches. There is a letter somewhere. I've got a headache now, actually. There is a letter somewhere that I've got this brain scan I need to go to. I don't think it's under me. I know I might have scanned it. It's not there though. It's not it. Yeah, what I've got going on my knees, like these bone spurs. They state that I ain't got no gaps in my bones, around the kneecaps, but there are spurs going on them, and that's why, and they can be worse than like a normal arthritis. So that's the reason why I had to go and get my leg x-rayed the other day. They actually x-rayed both of my knees, and one is worse than the other one. It's very rarely, it's not very rarely, but I can still go out, but it's hard for me to go out every now and then because my knees bloody hurt too much. My camera gone offline. Why's my camera gone offline? I hate that when it happens. Don't know why it does that. So yeah, so I've got a few medical things to sort out. So the brain scan's going to be next month. Just got to wait for the actual appointment for that. Got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I found out I've got high cholesterol as well, and so I'm on medication for that now. And also I get high blood pressure, and that can be also caused to the headaches I've been getting recently. High blood pressure, so I'm on high blood pressure tablets as well at the moment. So each night I have to take 4 bloody different tablets. One for my headaches, one for depression, one for cholesterol, and one for high blood pressure. And they've just taken me off one particular blood pressure tablet because it's given me a side effect, giving me rashes all over my body, and they've taken that off and given me a different one. I've still got some of the rash, but it's kind of like going now, thankfully. So you've been fed, go away. But Another thing, people say you shouldn't really go out doing ghost hunting if you've got health issues, you know, kind of thing. Because I think, like, you know, people are trying to say, you know, if you've got health issues and you get some form of an attack by spirit, that ain't going to be good. Well, I don't really believe in that, to be honest with you. I don't think, you know, I don't know really, you know, can a spirit, you know, really, you know, kind of like affect you due to like health issues? I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, there's one letter I seem to have misplaced, which I need to find. Oh, this is going to go flying in a minute. That's just an empty envelope. No, that's the new one. I had an old one of these and I had to take that with me because I couldn't find this new one. And I said, you know, this is an old one. Does it matter? She goes, no. I had to go and have a blood test at the hospital the other day. So that's another thing I had to have done. That's just one thing after another with medical. That's me electric. Let me just have a quick another look through this shit. I know this ain't it. This is a letter I had to send off to someone about my medical. And this is from the court, which when I'd done that court case, when I was called up as a juror, that's all over and done with now, thankfully. They were found guilty. And then they're going to be sentenced next month. So I want to go there to, you know, hear the sentencing, but I don't think I should really go. I think I'd just like to ring them up and find out what they've got sentenced. I know they're all going to get, you know, prison term. You know, I had a few people say, don't you feel guilty that you've actually had someone, like, you know, found guilty? Well, I feel sorry for them in one way, but, you know, you do the crime, you do the time, don't you? So, you know, it's not my fault. You know, other jurors found them all guilty, apart from one. So this is the research one. But it's not the hospital one. That's another electric bill. I need to find this letter. That's the letter from the doctor. That's L&Q about my rent going up. That's electricity. There's my login for the patient's, what's the name, online thing. That's electricity as well. This is my medical record. I'll tell you, looking at my medical record, man, fucking hell, unbelievable. That's my x-ray results. That's my old court stuff. Oh, I just can't find it. Unless I dumped it in my Well, it might be my backpack actually, which I might have needed as address proof for when I've got me electricity voucher. Because everyone's like, you know, getting these vouchers given to them now, aren't they? I suppose for help with electricity. Not much, but it helps. I just don't know what I've done with that letter. It might be in my backpack, as I say, I don't know. This stuff is just like the electricity and stuff like that. That can go up on top of the printer. I'll sort that out later. You know, I need to ask about my blood test results when I go there tomorrow. So, empty envelope. You know, I don't know where it is. Probably in my backpack. This ain't it. I know that because that's just like a translation paper thing. And that's like a little diary I like to keep for my blood test results. I like to do my own blood pressure and write it down. Like if it's like 110 over 89 or something, I like to write it down every day. I'll stop doing that now. I had to buy a new TV not long ago because my other TV that I use as a second monitor went down on me. I had like all lines going down the screen, pixels. It was insured, so I've taken, you know, like I thought, well, you know, I'll get it sent off to get repaired. But I'll also buy a new TV anyway, which I did do, which is an RCA 43-inch smart TV. It's only 200 quid, so you know I spent that out. And the one that's supposed to be getting repaired, I'll just keep as a spare backup. I might even have it over at the back, have the computer down on the floor, and put the other monitor or TV over at the back there. Or, you know, well, I will put it over the back so it won't get damaged. And once I sort that living room out, I can have it in the living room. Right. So anyway, I'm going to go. It's 11:15. Got to get up early. You know, doctor's appointment. I might do another live stream later in the week, maybe. I don't know yet. I might do a little stream, you know, showing some equipment off, which is what I think is the best kind of equipment, if you can afford it, to take out on a paranormal investigation with you. So I might do one of those videos. I don't know yet. I'll see how it goes. But for now, thanks for coming on. Cheers for watching, and I'll catch you later. Have a good week. And I'll see you when I see you next. Bye for now.